Alma loses to Wisconsin River Falls 45-33 in a very high scoring, very high paced game, which a lot of people knew going into this game that was exactly what it was going to be, because you have two of the best, if not legitimately the best quarterbacks in Division III going up against each other in this game. And we saw some high level play from the quarterback position, especially from Kaleb Blaha. He showed exactly why he was that first team preseason All-American. 443 yards, 5 touchdowns, did throw 1 interception, but truly that was really his only mistake of the game, was that interception. And he even used his legs a little bit. He had 41 yards on the ground, 15 attempts. Like, he was very, very good in this game, and he was able to find his guy, Steven Ruffenberger, quite often. 5 receptions, 185 yards, 3 touchdowns. If there's one thing I think that Alma really would want back in this game, is covering him a little bit better than they did. But truly, you have to give credit to Wisconsin River Falls and Steven, and you have Austin Rush. Like, those are the two guys that scored the 5 touchdowns that Kaleb Blaha threw. And it was just great offensive performance from Wisconsin River Falls, and you really can't blame them. Well, like, when they were on, they're one of the best offenses in the entire country, led by preseason first team All-American. Like, it's really, really difficult, and it truly was a game, and I thought it was going to be a game, and it worked out being this way, of which defense could make stops when it came time to that point. And both teams actually had an interception. Carter St. John had 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 242 yards. And you look at that stat compared to Kaleb Blaha, and you might say, well, one quarterback was quite a bit better than the other. Well, also, if you look at the stats, you also have to look at what Alma did offensively. And while Carter St. John only had 242 yards through the air, Alma had 207 yards on the ground. Alma was more balanced when it came to offense. Wisconsin River Falls was primarily through the air. 443 yards, only 118 yards on the ground. And that was really the true biggest test of these two teams, was which was going to be more explosive. And I think if you have to say at the end of the day, River Falls just took advantage of their opportunity, was a little bit more explosive, and was able to get enough stops defensively to give them the lead. And when it came into the fourth quarter, Alma, if you look at it, statistically outscored Wisconsin River Falls 13-7, but truly was that second quarter that made a huge difference in this game, because Wisconsin River Falls end up scoring 17 points in the second quarter. That is the biggest difference. If Alma ends up scoring 7, or if Alma ends up getting one more stop there. Like, this is a game going into the fourth quarter that is really, really close. And I think both of these teams do have that potential to be right there with each other. And I think both of these teams do have the talent to be top 25 teams. I think this Alma team is really good. I just think they ran into a quarterback that is extremely difficult to stop, a passing attack that I don't think a lot of teams in the country are going to be able to stop, like if they're that on. And while you might look at it overall from a defense perspective from Alma, you might say, yes, it wasn't the greatest performance in the world, but truly when you have the elite of elite in D3 football, it's really tough. And I think Alma does deserve some credit for fighting. I think Alma was good in this game, and I think Zach Poff is one of those guys that was really efficient during this time. He had 6 receptions, 95 yards, 1 total touchdown. Eddie Williams was the main running back for this team. 28 carries, 148 yards, 2 touchdowns. It truly was a little bit of a style comparison between each other. Like, it was a style difference between the way that these offenses approach. And I truly think if you look at the overall game plan that Alma had, and maybe this isn't exactly what it was, but when you have a team that can run the ball like Alma was, going up against a team that has a guy like Kaleb Blaha, sometime the best defense is a good offense that can stay on the field. And I think they did a good job of doing that majority of the time. And when you have a guy like Carlos St. John that's able to use his legs, he was the second leading rusher for Alma. He also has great wide receivers there, like Sam Couch, 7 receptions, 56 yards, Brock Miller, 4 receptions, 48 yards. He has weapons around him. And through the run, through the pass, there was enough there that this Alma team could have won. But unfortunately, when Wisconsin River Falls was able to get stops, they responded right away, and it truly was that second quarter that truly made the difference in this game. But in my opinion, there is absolutely nothing to be concerned about for this Alma team. It's really hard to win on the road, especially with the opponent and how good they are in the Wisconsin River Falls. It was a great performance. This was game 1 of the season. I said this in the Hope recap, but this Alma team's going to be right there in the MIAA. Like, it's going to be between Hope and Alma, and I think rightfully so. I think both of these offenses are going to be really good. I think it's going to truly come down to, again, who's going to be able to get stops when it comes to the MIAA matchup between Hope and Alma. And I think this game will not only make Alma better as a whole defensively, I think this game, while it's a disappointing result at the end of the day, Alma absolutely wanted to win this game. I think this is the type of test that you need at the early season that truly can help you grow more than maybe other tests to happen. And I think this is going to be the biggest growth that this team faces. I think they're going to continue to get better, and I think they're going to be able to respond this week with a win, and I think that's going to be extremely important for Alma. But yeah, really good game, really competitive game. Great games from Kaleb Blaha and Carter St. John and other individuals as well. But yeah, thank you for tuning into this recap, and make sure to tune into the next recap about Alma.